Hello, good day to you. Today, I want to make a demonstration about the lsof command. The lsof utility is a very important utility for troubleshooting on Linux systems. The lsof utilities are available on most or distros of Linux. If it is not available on your system, you can easily install it with your default or package manager. So let's get straight to it. Let's look at the man page for lsof. If we type man lsof, or the man page tells us the name, actually is list open files. And that should tell us one thing straightforward if we are familiar with Linux. Almost everything on a Linux system is a file. That means when we are talking about open files, we are talking about regular files, we are talking about directories, we are talking about block files, we are talking about character files, we are talking about sockets, that's a network socket, we are talking about pipe, we are talking about our soft links. So since almost everything on Linux system is a file, we are talking about any of this file that is open. This command can can tell us the files that are open. So let's get out of this. Ordinarily, if we run, I'm going to run the lsof command. It's going to dump a lot of information, but this is not the best way to use this command. This is a lot of information, and obviously it is too much to even go through. So, as with most Linux utilities, the usefulness of this command comes with the options that you use with it. So if I type lsof-h, we can see all the options that are available for us to use. So I'll be going through some of the most common options that you can use for troubleshooting or your day-to-day issues on Linux or servers. So uh, first, let me run lsof and pipe the output to word count. So I'm going to run lsof, pipe the output to word count. Oh, sorry, word count. You see, it tells me that I have on this system about 3,974 files that are opened. So we can use the options to tell the output that we want to see. And some of the things that we can see with this command are, who owns a file, what service has a file open, what the port that a particular process is using. For example, if you want to tell what is the process that is using a particular port, like port 80 or port 8080, you can use the lsof. So I am on CentOS server. Let me just show you. Pardon me, my keyboard kind of respond slowly. Red Hat. So I am on CentOS 7.3. So the first option that I'll be introducing to you is -u. -u can be used to look at the file that is opened by a particular user. So if I run lsof-u and say I want to see the files that are opened by the root user. So you see, these are like all the files that are opened by the root user. So I can run it with another user. So if there's a particular user on a system and you want to know what this particular user is doing, what file this particular has open, this is a very good way to do it. So the next option that I'm going to show you is -i. -i The I stands for internet actually. So it deals with sockets, so network connections. So if I run lsof-i and I tell it I want to see if there's a which service or which user is using the port 80 on my system. So the syntax is lsof-i tcp colon 80. So you see, uh, it tells me the command that is using port 80 is httpd. The process ID is 836. The user is root, and the name of the name is star colon http, and it is in the listen state. So it tells me there's another user which is Apache user. So as you can see, if you're familiar with httpd, the first line is the main uh, Apache is the main process, and the following are the workers, that serve the web server. So another uh, option that I can introduce with this is n actually. So let me run this. Okay, let me run it with. Uh, yeah, I have to put the dash n before this. So keep that in mind. So this gives us the same thing, but what I'm looking for is I don't want it to resolve the ports. I don't want it to resolve the ports. Uh, yeah. So the correct option is dash p. So I'm telling it not to resolve the service name. So you see now, instead of telling us HTTP, shows me the appropriate port number, the port 80, and the state is listen. So you see, and the type is of IPv6. We can do even more about with this dash I. This dash I is one of the options that I personally found most useful. So we can run dash I, or we can actually omit the TCP. If we omit the TCP, assume that we are looking for TCP. So I can run it looking for port 22. Port 22 is SSH. So I can run it again with the dash p so that it doesn't resolve the uh, the service name. So you see, this tells me all the SSH connections that are going on my systems, or the ones that originate from this system and the ones that terminate on this system. So we can actually use this ls-i with UDP. So we can specify UDP here, and let's see if there's any and we don't even need to specify a port. Actually, we can just specify the protocol and see if there's any UDP or files that are opened, basically any UDP socket. So you see I have cronid. Cronid is handles the NTP, is the newer service that handles NTP, and also I have DHCP client. So you see, I was able to look at UDP. I can run the same and change this to TCP. So that I want to look at the TCP files that are opened on my system. So it gives me all the TCP files that are open on my system. So one thing that I can do, that I can introduce quickly, is the dash A. Let me introduce the dash A option right away. So the dash A allows me to do AND operation. So let me, if you can see my system, this is AND. So basically, what that means is I want to see TCP sockets and the user if the and I want the user to be India. So it tells me TCP sockets that are opened and that are opened by this user India. So so you see, they are mostly SSH. So that means this user has a lot of SSH connection going on. So I can change this to root. So I'm looking for TCP files or sockets that are opened by user root. So the user, you see all the user, and it shows me all the TCP socket that relate to user root. So you see things like HTTP or SSHD and SMTP. So let's move ahead. Another very important option that I would like to show you is a -p option. So you can see that this command can get very complex. So the -p option can allow me to see what files this takes in PID, which stands for process ID. Actually, the process ID. So that what process is opening, what files a particular process has opened. For example, if you, as you can notice, I have HTTPD running on the system. The main process ID for HTTPD is 836. So what I can do with this information is I can look for all the files that are opened by the process that has process ID 836. So let's do it. So you see, it tells me, you can see the binary, the HTTP binary. Then you can see a lot of libraries, basically the shared libraries that were loaded for HTTPD. Oh, you can see, so if you look further, you can see some of the log file. You see the log, this is the error log file, the access log file. So this can actually help you. So if you are looking for the file, the log file that your process is using, this is one way by which you can discover the file, the log file that your process is using. So let's move ahead. So one other option that I would like to show you again is the -d, which is file descriptor. So let me just quickly run that lsof -d. So I want all the files that are opened by file descriptor number 3. You know, file descriptor number 3 is uh, okay. Let me use 2. Sorry, 2 is the standard error, right? So you see, for example, you can see the HTTP error log. Yeah, I think the HTTP error log mostly, and some other uh, error that are sent to dev null. So these are like the files that are opened that are attached to file descriptor number 3. You can look at the ones that are attached to file descriptor number 1. File descriptor number 1 is the standard output. So you see, it shows us the the files that are attached to the standard output. So, for example, HTTPD. So the output, although the output not necessarily be the screen, as we can see, the output can be redirected. For example, this is a socket for HTTPD, and the output can be def null. So, for example, if the service is a daemon, you know, daemon services usually they don't write to stand the screen. They write to like dev null. So you see, most of the daemon processes are being sent to dev node. So let's look at some more. Okay, I've introduced the dash D. So another one that I would like to introduce is plus D. So plus D in this case. So that is one thing with this command. Plus D is I'm looking for processes that are uh, have this directory opened. That's what this means. So let me try eval-log. So you see processes that have this directory that this that any file in that directory, this is a directory, and you see var-log firewall d, var-log messages. So these are files. These are the processes. Sorry, you see the command. These are the services or processes that have these files opened. So if you are curious that what processes are writing to a particular directory, you can use this is a very good one to use. So another one that I would like to introduce is dash G. Quickly, dash G basically is for group. So if I want to know that what are the files opened by group group member 1000, I can basically do this. Let me use maybe group 0. So group 0 is root. So root has the group of root has a lot of file open. But if you are in an environment where you have groups like maybe accounting, sales, you can basically use these with the group ID to tell what files are opened by members of that group. So the option that I would like to introduce now is dash C. Dash C, you can use dash C with and specify maybe if you know that a particular service is running and you are not sure about the full name, you are not sure about the full command line, but you know the beginning of the word of that command. For example, HTTP. So I know that HTTP is running, but I don't know the full name. I can just type HTTP and it gives me all the files that are opened by HTTPD. Or we can do it again with, let's say, I know there's a firewall D running on this system. I can do lsof-c fire, and it gives me all the files that are opened by the firewall D process. So you see that okay, it uses Python 2.7, or you can see all the libraries that it loads, or you can see where it writes the log again. If you are not certain where your process is writing a log, this is a very, very useful tool to discover where your process is writing its log. Or you see it's using the iNotify. So you can see this command is very useful with different options that we have gone through, and you can combine these options in various ways. Another option that I can introduce is the plus uppercase D. So if I run nsof and plus uppercase D, maybe on varlog, so it tells, so this works recursively. So it works recursively. It goes into the directories that are below this directory that I gave it. So for example, it goes into varlog audit to look for audit.log. So it tells me, so these are all the processes that are using the varlog directory to store their file right now. So it is recursive. You remember when I ran with the lowercase d is not recursive, but the uppercase D is recursive. So you see this command is very useful. If, for example, even if you are sure of a particular directory, for example, I can run lsof on /temp. I want to know if there's any processes that open /temp. I can use it on /home. Is there anybody using /home? And I can actually use this on partitions. For example, I can use it on dev VDA1 on this partition, or like what processes running on, or open this partition. I can run it /root. So you see, okay, I think a month point actually, or pardon me for that, month point. So the month point, for example, if we run lsof clear screen, if we run ls block, so the month point here is the root. So we can basically have all the files that have the root partition opened. So we have gone through a couple of options. -u for user, or -i for internet. So if I go over -i again, so for example, another way I can use it is I can, if I know a particular IP address, like let me check the IP address of this system is a 192.168.1.8. So I can run lsof -i. I want to see any socket that that has this IP address, and you see it tells me all the sockets that are are using this IP address. I can run the -i with -n. So the -n, you see the difference? It does not resolve the IP address. So you can see the IP address. I can combine it with upper P. So upper P, that will not resolve the port. So you see the socket 192.168.1.8:22, or it's as a SSHD connection going to 10.0.0.150 colon 47994. So you see how useful this command is. If you are not sure what service is holding your port, if you try to start this, let's say Apache web server on port 8000, and the system tells you, oh, port 8000 is already being used by some service, you can use lsof with port 8000. Like, assuming you want to check for port 8000, although I don't have anything running on port 8000, but I'm just using this for example, or lsof-i colon 8000. I don't have anything, but if you do it on port 80, it tells me the exact process, the process ID, or the user that is using this port. So it is a very good troubleshooting or tool utility. Another thing you can do is port range. You can actually do a port range. For example, I can do lsof-i, or I want to see the port between 20 and 30. I want to see what process opens any port between 20 and 30. You see, and it came up with SSH, that is port 22, SMTP, that is port 25. So you say you can do a range of ports. You can do a specific port. You can do UDP, like I said. You can do TCP. You can use it with IP address. So, and you can combine these options in different ways, or to make it more powerful. One last thing, let me quickly show you this is negation. You can negate some option. So for example, I want to, if I run this again and I say uh, I use this like dash u for user, remember, I use the caret and say uh, I don't want to see anything the port that is owned by root. So you see, in the one that we run earlier, it gave us something related to root, but here we're able to exclude root from our output. So it gave us only for user in there. So that is another way of narrowing down. You have many options to narrow down the exact output you want to see. So I hope this has been beneficial to you. If you have any comments, let me know. So I hope you find great use in this command. Thank you for watching. Bye.